You understand that your personal preferences are important? So important that each of them, no matter what perspective of your being projects them, they are heard and answered. If one of the cells in your body sends out a request to source for something, it is immediately answered. If something is happening in your personal life which prompts you to clear, more pointed than usual desire, even if you do not speak the words, the desire is known, it is heard by source and answered. Do you believe that? It is the basis of all that is. When you ask, no matter who you are, human or frog, when you ask, source hears and answers. And when you think about that, it must occur to you that it is the perfect situation where every consciousness which knows best its needs and wants gets to ask from its important perspective. And source hears every request and answers. And the asker, whether it is the cell in your body, the one-celled amoeba in the ocean, the frog with frog consciousness, the cat with cat consciousness, the human with human consciousness, no matter where you stand when you ask, whether you ask with words or just the desire that vibrates within you, when you ask, it is heard and it is answered every time. The question is this consciousness that is asking in enough vibrational alignment with the desire that it is requesting to allow the connection, the vibrational answering? The cells in your body are aligned when they ask. And you know, every frog we've ever met is aligned too. But humans, bless your hearts, you are more complicated in that you use your focused consciousness in a more creative way. You knew you would. It's why you came forth. You said, I want to go forth and use my intellect, use my ability to discern. I will learn the ways of those who have come before, and I will establish a basis of understanding. And then I will personally attract unto me. And the combinations of what I attract will help me. You said this, we heard you, we said we'd remind you, will help me to conclude my individualistic, selfishly oriented preferences. And I understand, you said, that each time I do that, my preference will be heard and answered. And you said, and I love this experience. I love this environment. I love knowing that not only will I be answered, but so will everyone else. So you said from your non-physical standpoint, I don't need to go forth and whip others into compliance with my beliefs and my desires. You said this universe is stable enough and broad enough and compliant enough to answer the wishes and desires, the hopes and dreams of all who ask. And what others ask for really is not my business, because Source is broad enough, expansive enough, and expanding still further to satisfy all of my desires and all of theirs. There is not a finite bucket of Source. And if that guy gets his prayers answered, then there may not be enough for me. It is an infinite stream or source of resources that expands proportionate to the desire that is created. So as your environment produces a desire within you, and you speak it with your words, or you speak it with your heart, or you vibrate it with your being, you can't help that. That vibration exudes from you, Source hears it, and with law of attraction answers it, and your work is to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. Earlier we said, bless your human hearts. You are complex beings. And by that we mean you think a lot of thoughts. you focus upon a lot of things. And sometimes you focus upon the desire that has been born, and when you do, it is fulfilled easily. But sometimes you focus upon the pain and struggle that has given birth to the desire, and then you hold yourself in a place of non-compliance or non-alignment or non-allowing of your own desire, because sometimes you get stuck in the trying to justify why you want something mode. And we think you got that from your human mentors. We think you got that from your mother, who, when you said you needed something, she was more likely to help you get it than when you merely said you wanted it. If you really needed it, if you could plead a very big case, she was more likely to assist you. And what we're wanting you to hear is that the universe assists and responds. That which you call God, it does not matter what you name this source, answers you. You do not have to plead your case of need. And in fact, when you do, it complicates your energy. That's like saying, I want this thing that I do not have, and I really want everyone to understand that I do not have it, and that's why I want it. I want it, you see, because I do not have it. If I had it, then I wouldn't want it so much as I want it. But since I do not have it, I really, really want it, but I do not have it. So the universe hears desire for this, and in the time of that, vibrational alignment with this, and then acknowledgement of where I stand and alignment with where I stand. So I'm aligned with my desire, and then I'm not, and then I'm aligned with my desire, and then I'm not, and then I'm aligned with my desire, and then I'm not. And the question that we want to put to you, that we would encourage you to put to yourself on a pretty regular basis, is, how much are you in alignment with your desire, and how much are you in alignment with the absence of your desire? And the answer to that question is simple. How much do I talk about what I want and why I want it and feel all the delicious feelings around that? Or how much do I plead my case for how badly I need this thing that I do not have? Every time you justify your need or desire for something, you are in alignment with the absence of it. Do you understand that? You cannot speak your need from your pleading, prayerful position and be a match to what you're asking for, any more than you can set your radio on 98.6 and hear the music that's being projected on 101 FM. They are different vibrational frequencies, and they do not line up. People talk sometimes about law of attraction. They say, I don't understand law of attraction. Don't opposites attract? What's this business of that which is likened to itself is drawn? And we say, think about your radio and ask yourself, can you set it on one frequency and hear what's being broadcast on another? They must be like frequencies. You must be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. So how do you know if you're in alignment with your desire? It's easy. You feel good. You feel good when you're in alignment with your desire. You feel joy, you feel energy, you feel clarity, you feel enthusiasm, you feel love, you feel appreciation. You feel really good when you are really aligned with your own desire. How do you know when you're not aligned? You don't feel so good. You feel fear, or you feel anger, or you feel frustration. So does that mean you should get rid of all negative emotion? Certainly not. It means you should feel what you feel and understand what you are feeling. And when you find yourself in negative emotion, and do not misunderstand us, we know that when you are looking at something that is opposite or different from what you want, it is normal that you would feel negative emotion. We would never want you to look at something that you really do not want and feel good when you see it. Don't worry, that can never happen. Nor would we like you to be so numb to the way you feel that you don't feel what you feel. We want you to be sensitive to the way you feel, because your emotions let you know what your vibrational state of being is. You can tell when you're lined up with who you are, and you can tell when there is resistance within your energy. Resistance always feels like negative emotion. Sometimes what happens to you is you're feeling negative emotion. You know you're feeling negative emotion. You've been listening to us long enough to understand that negative emotion means you're not in alignment with what you want, and then you get defensive and feel like you need to explain still further how hard it is for you to feel good under these circumstances. And we say, dear ones, You do not need to explain it to us. We understand. We understand that when you are looking at something that you do not want, that it feels painful. That is normal. And we understand that the worst feeling in the world is to look at something that you do not want and feel the pain of it and feel powerless to do anything about it. Sometimes people you love are having situations that they have created that you can't fix. And when you focus upon where they are, you feel pain. And it feels unkind of you to withdraw your attention from their pain just so that you can feel better. But we say, let's explore the options. You cannot create in their experience. You can join them in their pain, or you can focus upon the aspects of them that do not bring you pain, or you can turn your attention to something else altogether. You have millions and millions of options, their pain being only one of them. The question that you have to ask yourself is their pain less when I join them? And we would like to say to you, no, it is not, it is more. If you join anyone in their discomfort or pain, you activate within yourself a frequency that when you hold them as your object of attention, assists them in activating it too. In other words, that's what the power of influence is. So if you love others, one or many, and it is your desire to ease their pain, do not get involved in whatever is troubling them. The next thing we would like to say to you is that even though, as you look at where they stand, it may feel uncomfortable to you, it is our promise to you that they are not feeling the pain in the same way that you are, because their vantage point is different. You see, what emotions always are is the vibrational difference between frequencies within your being. So if you've got a desire that is vibrating here, and you're focused upon something that is vibrating here, the difference in those frequencies is what equals your emotional response. So when you are focused upon your desire, and you are therefore in full alignment with your desire, and therefore with your source, energy is flowing through you in a non-resisted way, and you are thriving. But if you want something for someone else, maybe your daughter, maybe your mate, maybe your parents, maybe someone in another country, as you want something for someone that they are currently not living, and you are focused upon where they are living, now you're feeling the discord between your desire for them and your belief of where they are. And what we are saying to you is your desire for them is predicated upon your desire for yourself, while their desire for them is not predicated upon your desire for them. In other words, it's like you going to what you would call a very underdeveloped country after you've lived in a place like this, after you've eaten in a place like this, after you've moved about in a place like this, after you've earned the income you earn, after you've lived in the space that you've lived in, after you dress the way you dress, as you move around in the vehicles you move around in, and then you take all of that knowledge and all of that desire and all of that standard of living and all of that you want, and you go visit someone who lives very, very differently, you cannot all of a sudden revert to their way of looking at life. You're still looking at life through your point of desire. So when you take your desire into someone else's experience, and then you look at where they stand, the range between what you're seeing as now reality and the range of your desire is huge in its difference. What we're saying to you is, you're feeling more pain for others in most cases than they are feeling for themselves, because you are putting yourself in a place where you are feeling a range that is very different and distorted. Now, the remedy to this is very simple, and we're going to give it to you as lovingly and as clearly as we can. Mind your own business. In other words, have desires for things that have to do with you. And we certainly want you to want well-being for others, but do not get intricately involved in the lives of others where you have no vibrational control, because you set yourself up for vibrational discord, which then is detrimental to your experience.